Speak daily English. Real English every day.
Hello, English learners! Did you know that you only need 10 key phrases to introduce yourself confidently in English? That's right! Just 10 phrases can transform you from feeling nervous and awkward to making a fantastic first impression in any situation. Think about it. What's the first thing you do when meeting someone new? You greet them and introduce yourself. This is the foundation of all English conversations. Yet so many students struggle with it. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to master English greetings and introductions, even if you're a complete beginner. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to say when meeting new people, whether it's your professor, a potential employer, or someone you meet at a party. Let's get started. Before we dive into specific phrases, let's understand why greetings matter so much. In English-speaking cultures, your greeting sets the tone for the entire interaction. A good greeting shows respect, creates a positive first impression, and opens the door to meaningful conversation. Many language learners focus too much on complex grammar and vocabulary, but neglect these essential everyday phrases. The truth is, native speakers will forgive grammar mistakes much more easily than social mistakes in greetings. So today, we'll focus on practical, everyday language that you can start using immediately. I'll show you how to greet people appropriately in different situations, introduce yourself confidently, and keep the conversation flowing naturally. Let's start with the 5 most common everyday greetings in English. These are phrases you'll hear and use almost every day. First, we have hello and hi. These are the most universal greetings that work in almost any situation. Hello is slightly more formal than hi, but both are appropriate in most contexts. Next, we have time-specific greetings. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Remember that good morning is used until noon, good afternoon until around 5 or 6 p.m., and good evening after that. Important note, good night is not a greeting. It's only used when saying goodbye before someone goes to sleep. Third, for casual situations, we have hey or hey there. These are informal greetings used with friends, classmates, or people of similar age or status. Never use hey with your professor or in a job interview. Fourth is, how are you? Or how's it going? These usually follow after the initial greeting. For example, hi, how are you? Finally, when meeting someone for the first time, we say, nice to meet you. This is essential for first-time introductions. Let me give you a quick tip about how are you. In English-speaking cultures, this is often just a formulaic greeting, not a genuine question about your well-being. The expected response is brief and positive, like, I'm fine, thanks. How about you? Even if you're having a terrible day, save the details for closer friends. Now, let's talk about the difference between formal and casual greetings. Using the appropriate level of formality is crucial for making a good impression. In formal situations, like job interviews, speaking with professors, or business meetings, use these phrases. Good morning, afternoon, evening, followed by the person's title and last name. For example, good morning, Professor Smith. How do you do? This is very formal and mainly used in business or highly professional settings. It's a pleasure to meet you, or I'm pleased to make your acquaintance. These show respect and professionalism. For casual situations, with friends, classmates, or in relaxed social settings, you can use hey or what's up. These are very informal and friendly. How's it going? Or how've you been? These ask about someone's general state in a casual way. Long time no see. Use this when reuniting with someone you haven't seen in a while. Remember, using overly casual language in formal settings can make you appear disrespectful or unprofessional. On the other hand, being too formal in casual settings might make you seem stiff or distant. When in doubt, it's usually safer to start slightly more formal and then match the other person's level of formality. Pay attention to how others greet each other in different contexts, and you'll quickly learn what's appropriate. After the initial greeting comes the introduction. Introducing yourself clearly and confidently is a skill that will serve you well in countless situations. Here's a simple formula for a perfect self-introduction. 1. Start with a greeting. 2. State your name. 3. Add relevant information about yourself. 4. Add a conversation starter. Let me show you how this works in practice. For a formal introduction, you might say, "Good morning, my name is David Wilson. I'm a new student in the computer science program. I'm looking forward to learning more about this course." For a casual introduction, "Hey there, I'm David. I just moved here from Chicago. Do you know any good coffee shops around here?" Notice how the formal introduction uses complete sentences and focuses on professional information, while the casual one is shorter and includes a conversation starter. When stating your name, speak clearly and a bit more slowly than the rest of your sentence. If your name is difficult for English speakers to pronounce, you might want to add a helpful explanation. "My name is Shaoli," pronounced like Sholi. After introducing yourself, it's often good to add a question or comment that invites the other person to respond. This keeps the conversation flowing naturally instead of creating an awkward silence after your introduction. Remember, confidence matters more than perfect grammar here. Make eye contact, speak clearly, and smile when appropriate. These nonverbal cues are just as important as the words you use. Now, let's learn how to respond when someone introduces themselves to you. This is equally important for making a good impression and building connections. When someone introduces themselves, always acknowledge their introduction with phrases like, "Nice to meet you too." "It's a pleasure to meet you as well." "Great to meet you." Then, show interest by asking a relevant follow-up question. This demonstrates that you're engaged in the conversation and interested in getting to know them. Some good follow-up questions include, "How long have you been working here? What brings you to this event, city, school? How do you know mutual acquaintance?" Let's see this in action. If someone says, "Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm studying biology," you could respond with, "Nice to meet you, Sarah. I'm David. How long have you been studying biology?" This creates a natural flow to the conversation instead of just exchanging names and then falling silent. Another important aspect of responding to introductions is remembering names. In English-speaking cultures, using someone's name when speaking to them is considered friendly and respectful. A simple trick is to repeat their name immediately after hearing it. "Nice to meet you, Sarah." This helps cement the name in your memory. If you didn't catch someone's name or forgot it, it's perfectly acceptable to politely say, "I'm sorry, could you tell me your name again?" This is much better than avoiding using their name throughout the conversation. Understanding cultural differences in greetings can help you navigate social situations more confidently. Physical greetings vary widely across different English-speaking countries and contexts. In most business or formal settings in America, Canada, and the UK, a firm handshake is the standard greeting. Make eye contact, offer your right hand, and shake firmly but not too strongly. A limp handshake can give the impression of lack of confidence, while a too strong grip might seem aggressive. In casual settings among friends in America, Brief hugs are common, especially among women or people who know each other well. In the UK and some other English-speaking countries, hugs are less common except among close friends. Personal space is important in most English-speaking cultures. Generally, maintain about an arm's length distance when speaking with someone you don't know well. Standing too close can make others uncomfortable. Eye contact shows engagement and honesty in English-speaking cultures, but staring too intensely or for too long can make people uncomfortable. A good rule is to maintain eye contact for about 4 to 5 seconds, then briefly look away before making eye contact again. If you're unsure about the appropriate physical greeting in a particular situation, you can take cues from others or default to a simple handshake in formal settings and a friendly wave in more casual ones. Remember that cultural norms are guidelines, not strict rules. Individual preferences vary, and what's most important is showing respect and awareness of others' comfort levels. Now, let's look at some common mistakes that English learners often make with greetings and introductions, so you can avoid them. First, using good night as a greeting. In English, good night is only used when saying goodbye before sleeping, not as a greeting in the evening. Use good evening instead when greeting someone at night. Second, answering "How are you?" with too much detail. When someone asks, "How are you?" they usually expect a brief, positive response like, "I'm fine, thanks," or "Not bad, how about you?" Not a detailed story about your problems or health issues. Third, forgetting to ask questions back. Conversations are two-way streets. If someone asks, "How are you?" don't just answer and stop. Add, "And you?" or "How about you?" to keep the conversation going. Fourth, using very formal language with friends or very casual language with professors or employers. This can create awkward situations or even seem disrespectful. Always match your language to the context. Fifth, introducing yourself with too much information. In initial meetings, keep your introduction concise. You don't need to share your life story, just enough information to establish a connection. Sixth, pronouncing names incorrectly without trying to learn. If someone's name is unfamiliar to you, it's okay to ask them to repeat it or say it slowly. Making an effort to pronounce names correctly shows respect. Finally, interrupting introductions or changing the subject too quickly. This can seem rude or indicate lack of interest. Give people time to introduce themselves fully before moving the conversation in a new direction. By avoiding these common mistakes, you'll come across as more culturally aware and socially skilled, even if your English isn't perfect yet. Like any language skill, mastering greetings and introductions requires practice. Here are some effective ways to practice what you've learned today. First, role-play different scenarios. Imagine meeting different people: a new classmate, a professor, a neighbor, a potential employer. Practice appropriate greetings and introductions for each scenario, speaking out loud even if you're alone. Second, watch English movies, television shows, or videos, paying special attention to how characters greet each other in different situations. Notice the differences between formal and casual introductions. Third, create a personal introduction script that you can adapt for different situations. Having this ready will boost your confidence in real-life encounters. Fourth, record yourself introducing yourself and listen back. This helps you identify areas for improvement in your pronunciation, pace, and clarity. Fifth, if possible, find a language exchange partner or join an English conversation group where you can practice introductions with real people in a low-pressure environment. Remember, the goal isn't perfect grammar, it's effective communication. Even with limited vocabulary, you can make a great impression with confident, appropriate greetings and introductions. Each time you practice, you'll become more comfortable and natural. Today, we've covered everything you need to know about English greetings and introductions, from basic phrases to cultural awareness, from formal to casual contexts, and common mistakes to avoid. Remember, first impressions matter in every culture, and knowing how to greet people appropriately is your first step toward successful English communication. Even with limited vocabulary, you can connect with others confidently using the phrases we've discussed today. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more practical English lessons. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next video on numbers, time, and dates in English, another essential topic for beginners. Also, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Tell me, what's the most challenging thing about introducing yourself in English? Or share a phrase from your native language that's used for greetings. Thank you for learning with me today. Remember, great conversations start with great greetings. See you in our next lesson.